Hey folks, it's time for the TWiP Community Photo Critique. This is episode number 175, Window Lights.
This is TWiP.
I'm leaving that in there just like that.
It's the end of the year. Yeah, just go.
I'll leave it in there just like that. All right, here we go. All right, folks, welcome back to another TWiP Community Photo Critique. I'm your host, Frederick Van Johnson, along with my good buddy and partner in crime, Mr. Troy Miller, also known as Spicy Jello. What's going on, man?
Hey, it's good. It's the end of the year, you know. I'm like on vacation, so.
Yeah. You got all your goodies over there. You got your, what'd you get? You said you got a GoPro for Christmas, right? You happy with that?
I did. I don't know where. Oh, it's up in the cabinet that I reorganized and cleaned the other day. So it's sitting up there charging.
Nice. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I didn't. What did I get? The big thing that I got this year was the Apple Watch right there. So I got a new Series 7 Apple Watch. I was on Series 3 before this one, so it was time.
Jump.
It's a big jump. So I'm updated and currently current on my Apple Watch tech. And I got a one wheel, and I got a but you know the coolest thing I got front row tickets to see Neil deGrasse Tyson in San Jose at the Center for Performing Arts. I think it's in February, and backstage passes to meet him and shake hands and do all that stuff. Of course, I'm gonna bring my interview stuff, so if I could get a couple minutes.
I was gonna say.
If I get a couple minutes with the astrophysicist himself, I'm going to sit down and ask him about light. So if I can do that. If not, I'm just going to enjoy the show. So,
Nice. That'd be awesome. Awesome.
All right, let's dive into this thing. You know what? This is our last critique of 2021, the horrific 2021. This is the last one. No more.
I know. How could it get any more exciting than this year?
Yeah, and there you go, tempting the fates with a few days left in the year. So the fates are like, okay, let's show him what we could do in these last few days.
I specifically chose exciting and not, the other words that would describe this year.
All right, well, they may interpret excitement as something else. So be careful. You don't need any of that. All right, we've got some good submissions in here. You want to dive in and record our last critique?
Let's do it.
All right, here we go. We are inside the community now. The general photo critique area. Last one in, first one up. This one is from Jim Peters, Window Light, a literal interpretation in Avignon, France. Let's take a look.
Nice.
This is definitely window light. This is timeless, right? This could be from any place. When I see a shot like this, and I'm talking to someone like you, Troy Miller, I know that you're like, you know what would have been great in this shot? What am I gonna say?
a model, a bride,
a bride.
Duck. Yeah.
That window needs a bride standing in that window light, longingly looking towards the light. With a bouquet hanging down to her side, or something.
Yeah. This would be great for that. Actually, this would be pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Although you wouldn't be shooting this direction because you'd have to add light somewhere. So it would be kind of fun. But yeah, no, this is a really fun shot. Immediately with a shot like this, first of all, it's tilted counterclockwise, so it's tilting to the left a little bit, and that's kind of bugging me. But really, I see this as two shots. And the better part of this shot, I think, is on the lower half. I think just the light falling on the floor. So if it were me, I would crop it right below the windows, make it square, call it a day. I think that's where the magic's at. I don't really think we need any of the window in there.
So it would be all light.
Yeah, and the texture of the floor. And I think that we all know... that what that light is coming from. I know that we can all kind of picture a window. If you want to show the grandeur of the cathedral, right? I think we need more, or we need to get a little bit different perspective where you can give us a better crop.
Mm-hmm.
So, step to the left, align the shadow with the window, shoot with a tight vertical, crop it tight vertical. Because right now it's a little bit disjointed, but I love the light on the floor more than anything else, and I would play with cropping it to show just the light on the floor.
You're right. Yeah, now that you say that, it does make sense to focus in on the light, especially considering the topic of this thing. You know, I also like the slightly green, matrixy, tint to this. It adds a little mystery to it.
Yeah, and I'm wondering if there's any color in the window itself. Like, is it a stained glass window or is it just clear window panes? Playing with the color toning and the color grading of this image can really change the effect. And even so much as going black and white can be quite dramatic. You'd have to kind of play with it to see.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, very cool shot, though.
All right, Jim Peters, thank you for that. And next shot up is from Mr. Mark Charette, Mannequin and Window Light.
Mine did the same thing. It took a little second to load that. I was like, what's going on?
Yeah, I just learned to be patient with Mighty.
Oh, this is cool. I love I love the fact that it's black and white. I think that it just lends itself to the really graphic nature of this particular image. I would crop it. Again, this is one of those images I would crop up from the bottom. I don't think we need to know it's a mannequin. Crop up from the bottom and crop down from the top, just what would be below the neck. So we get rid of that weird, swirly, shadowy light in the top left. Yeah, crop like right there. And then you have this really amazingly mysterious portrait, if you will,
then it becomes a play on you reduce the amount of complexity in the image by losing that top, let's call it third, right? And all that. So it becomes about the patterns, these diagonal lines, and that kind of gentle sine wave shadow, and then this ornate pattern on the body itself. And then that would add mystery to the shot too, because you'd be, with a crop that tight, you'd be wondering what the heck this is, right? So yeah, that'd be interesting.
Right. And we got this really nice sort of light, dark layering going on from the left to the right, and I think that it adds a lot of depth to the image. So I just love that. It's quite exceptional, and it's not a 360, Mark. It's great.
I know. Look at him playing in 2 dimensions. What's the matter with you? All right, cool. Thank you, Mark. Next shot up is from Amy Brooks. Is that something I want to chase? Yeah. Look at that little nose on that person. Look at that.
Oh, yeah. Now, Amy did, if you scroll down in the chat, Amy did fix it. When I say she fixed it, is because she knew that we would call her out on the ear being too close to the top of the frame. So she fixed it.
Yeah. And wait, let me go back and look at the other one. Let's see. Yes. Yeah, for sure. There's a lot of magnetism going on right there. Nearly amputating.
So I think it's fair that we look at the fixed image because she caught it before we said something, right? Sure. Which I think is great. But so I'm going to steal this and make this my background because I just love this so much. This is just so great, and I'm going to put it on my right monitor so it looks like he or she is looking out the window in my backyard. So
nice. Your other cats are going to get jealous. Saturn, you can come in there. You're going to have Saturn claw marks on your monitor.
I know. I really enjoy this image a lot. I love it. Really my only critique, other than having, she fixed the little space above the ear, is that leaf in the background is a little too bright.
Yeah.
So I would work on bringing that down. But kudos to everything else. I mean, beautiful window light, good control of the highlights and the shadow detail. The cat's ears are forward, which shows that they're happy, they're calm, they're looking forward, they're not worried about noises in the room, or they're not distracted and stuff. So very chill. I really like this a lot. This is really great.
Yeah. Cat lovers everywhere can appreciate this shot and those little paws and that little face right there. So
Yeah, and it's just, I mean, just in general, it's a really, really nice portrait. I mean, if this was a person sitting in the same light, it would be just as beautiful. I mean, the light is fantastic, and it, like, again, it's handled really well. So,
didn't this go to show that, you know how, you know, a lot of the, let's call them influencers online, you know, will preach, especially if you're a portrait photographer, they'll preach multiple light setups and Rembrandt lighting and backlight and hair light and side light and hatchet light and all these different things. When sometimes one light, and that one light could be a window, looks freaking amazing, right? And you don't need all that other gear and overhead and complexity and lighting ratios and all that stuff. Sometimes, you know, instead of trying to replicate what the sun is doing, just let the sun do its thing, right?
No, and I'm a huge advocate for that, because being a wedding photographer, I constantly have to work with natural light, because I don't like to haul around a lot of gear. And, you know, for natural light photographers, there's two camps. There's the studio light people that think that natural light photographers are lazy. And in reality, I see it the other way around. If you're a really good natural light photographer, it's a lot harder to get good light out of natural light. It's easy to put a light anywhere you want in a studio. So learning natural light is a very, very important skill that will benefit you when you're in the studio as well, because then you'll understand more how light moves and works. But
yeah, artificial light, and, you know, depending on the genre, right? If you're doing food photography or something like that, of course, you know, we're not talking about that, but portraiture and all that. I think in the olden days, wasn't it that when we first started getting artificial light, it was a way to extend shooting time, right? So that you could continue shooting after it got dark, or, you know, when you didn't have natural light anymore. Now you have unnatural light as a stopgap till the sun came up again. So,
exactly. Yep.
All right,
Very
Amy
nice.
Brooks.
Good job, Amy.
Yeah. Next up is Michael Rhino. He says, my entry for the window light photo critique.
That's cute.
Look at that.
Nice.
All right. What would you change, if anything, in here? I'm curious. I know you're going to say something about the distance, kind of like Amy, right? The distance of this head to the top of the frame. Does that bother you?
Well, okay. So if I was there with a camera, I would have moved in a lot tighter. I would have dropped, I'll call Dad. I would have dropped Dad's chin down behind the baby, so that he was kissing the baby's head as well. I think there's just too much background going on in there. And also you have a hair going from like the mom's left eye down to her lip over the baby's head and stuff like that. You've got these hairs in there.
Yeah.
So I would definitely clean those up. But speaking to this image, I would crop it just above Dad's eyes, behind his ear, just below Mom's ring on her left hand. And then, you know, I might lose her earring. I don't know if that would be distracting in the crop or not.
Oh, you would go really tight. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, because all this stuff outside of that is not really in service of what's going on in the shot, right? What the artist is trying to tell us is that this is a loving family kissing each other and getting closer, and, like you said, clean up these little details, right?
Yeah, and then if there's enough exposure latitude in the image, I would bring a little bit more light into the baby's right eye, just into the baby's face. Now, I'm talking like a quarter of a stop. Just bring that up a little bit. There's enough light coming in there naturally. It's going to look completely natural, but you can bring up just the mask of the face and the eyes a little bit, and it'll really be dramatic, and you'll have a really amazing winner there. I mean, it's cute like this, I think, but cropping it will make it much nicer.
Yeah, for sure. Very cool. Good comments. Very good.
I script these out. I pre-write all these, so
you know you don't.
I couldn't. It would take me longer.
Yeah, I know, and it would be wrong because you would have overthought it.
Yeah. You're right. Yeah.
Phil Lewinthal is up next. A new member. Welcome, Phil. He says, glass and table with window light. This image looks small, even though it's 1600 by 1060. Just beginning to learn my way around. Good. Welcome. Let's take a look.
Yeah, very nice. Very nice. So the first thing for me is when I saw this image, I started looking around for my subject.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I realized like the glass is in focus. I realized that like, oh, that's the subject, but you have all this out of focus negative space in the left. And I feel like I just want something in there, right? A lemon wedge, a cap from a wine bottle or a cork or a Perrier cap, like anything, a coin, anything
for scale. Yeah. Just to kind of, yeah. I agree. I think when I look at this, the first thing I think is I get this, the reflection that he's going for and showing that play. But I think in a shot like this, I'd want to see the whole, because to me this is the subject. It needs a secondary hook, like you said, like maybe something like a bright orange peel or something to contrast with this green background, or yellow orange or something in there, or even some liquid, accidentally on the table to give it a little bit more specular highlight in there. But I'd want to see the whole shot glass in there. With the same depth of field, because I love that, but the whole shot glass and showing that symmetry of reflection, I think. And this is me armchair quarterbacking, obviously. So, but that, and then, some splash of color in there, because it is largely monochromatic now, which is fine for the shot, but would it be more powerful if there was something else in there just to add that splash of interest in, and like you said, I think I said, for a sense of scale too. Just so that your brain has something to grab onto and it instantly knows what's going on in the shot.
Right. I agree with all that. Yeah, you're absolutely right. I think what's challenging with this image is that the majority of the image is out of focus, or it's it's shallow depth of field, right? The majority of the image. So we're drawn to that focused point and we're wondering like, okay, what's the rest of the story? Had he changed the focus point or the depth of field to where the glass was out of focus, but the shadow where the reflection of the glass itself was in focus, that would work a lot better. We would still like to see that secondary hook element, but I think that having the reflection so soft, and Phil, I commend you for not including the entire glass. A lot of times, with subjects and reflections, there's this dichotomy between, do I keep the whole subject and then part of the reflection, or you gotta get rid of one. So
yeah,
you did great. My only other thing is in we'll call it the background beyond the table, it looks like there's quite a few dust spots, and there's like these light spots. I don't know what those are. Not necessarily. Could be dust or.
Yeah. I was pointing at those. Yeah, there's the darker spots and light spots in there, all of which are easily correctable, right?
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Cool shot though.
Yep. No, for sure. Good. Keep them coming, Phil.
Keep them coming.
All right, next shot up is from Stephen Sharf. Stephen says, close the door on your way out, Urbex, Urban Explorer, in abandoned glass factory in Antioch, California. Bring this guy up.
That's cool.
All right. What do you think? Oh, look at that. It's showing up in, oh, there it goes. It was showing up in Ecamm before it showed up in the browser. It's weird.
Oh, wow.
How was that even possible?
Wow. I'm just looking at this. There's like so many pieces of this that I see a whole image in, the top above the door, the lower half with just the door, just the window itself without the door, just kind of like there's so many cool little things in there. You could spend a lot of time right there just shooting that.
Yeah, and this is one of those places. I think I remember you talking before about how you like to. I think it might have been in a critique about a Stephen Sharf image as well. I think it was some urbex or urban decay type shot that was. It had some sort of machinery or something in there, but there was a million shots in a single shot, just because of all the textures and mechanical pieces and patterns and just grunge. And this shot reminds me of those. So looking at the flaking paint and the the weathered windowsill, even that fire hydrant propping the door open is interesting.
Yeah.
All on their own. But when you look at all that, so there's a million subjects in here, right? But when you look at this shot, is there a single subject? Like, what draws you to this shot where you can say, yeah, that's the hero of this shot? Or is the shot itself the hero?
For me, the hero of this shot is the fire extinguisher on the floor. Because it's that red that really stands out. From a window light perspective, overall image I think is really wonderful. A couple things is the lower left corner in the lower left quadrant I think is too hot. It looks like there was a light source over there, maybe a strobe or something is creating a shadow, which is fine. But I think that that should be brought down and allow the viewer to see through the door into light in there. And that'll give you more of a sense of like a path or a travel through. Right now, I think the bright light in the lower left corner and that whole quadrant right there is more distracting than it is beneficial. And I think it's taking away from the big window in the upper right. So I would probably do that. I would burn that down. But I do love the fire extinguisher, that bright red in there. I think that's super cool.
Yeah. I mean, the whole nature of this art form industry is subjectivity, right? So this image in anyone in the community's hands is going to come out differently, right? So, and I think I agree with what you said, that lower left-hand quadrant is too bright. I think I would have there's two things. I would have brought the whole thing down a little bit and then made it more evident that fire extinguisher is the hero, not making it explode on the screen, but just enough pop to make me kind of instantly look at it, especially if you tone down the values on that window in the lower left-hand corner as well. And then the second thing is, when I think about this in the context of the subject for this particular critique, which is window light, right. This is lit presumably by window light. If this light down here, like you said, isn't artificial, maybe there's another bank of glass on the other side of the room over there. But although this is lit by window light, it is not illustrative of window light, right? Is it
right?
And did we specify that? Did we say just shoot something that was lit by window light, or did we say the subject of this critique is window light? Window light is your hero. So let's see how do you make window light or the light itself the hero or the protagonist of the shot?
Yeah, it's a lot of it's always open for interpretation.
Of course.
With an
purposely.
I think with an image like this, we have a lot of elements that are easily distracting, and I like to see an image that has depth, meaning that I can read through the image, and controlling where the highlights are, the shadows are, leading you through the image, I think is really important, regardless of whether it's lit by window light or artificial light or whatnot. And we have this wonderful doorway that I really want to lead the viewer through. And I think that just some dodging and burning. I know that Steven's a huge fan of Lumenzia. So grabbing those highlights in that lower left corner, bringing those down, making them a little more cool toned, warmer tones in the packs, stuff like that would really help.
I agree. Would you do a sky replacement in those windows? You think Luminar can handle that?
No, I don't think it can handle it.
Pull a hot air balloon out there.
No, I wouldn't. And now that you mentioned the windows, the one thing that I kind of struggled with this image, and I don't have a definitive, is I felt like the brightness in the images were brought in too much. I feel like I want to see them brighter, but then again, once I see them brighter, I may not like it. So I'm not sure. You know what I mean? It just feels like the light in there is. This is something that I would play with. I would tweak it 10 different ways, and I would look at all of them, and then I would not be happy with most of them.
Yeah, exactly. There's a lot going on here. Yeah, if you played with those windows, you'd have to play with the windows in that room, other room too, to make them match. Yeah, you have to pull those windows too, which is nice. But I do appreciate all the the vertical lines are vertical, and they're horizontal where they need to be, they're parallel where they need to be, and I think that. We don't always notice it, but we notice it when it's not right. Yeah, so, for sure. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Yep. Very cool. All right, Stephen Scharf, thank you. Moving right along, Eric Pronsky's up next. Sipping wine, image taking during dinner at our friend's house, which is the historic Blue Painted Lady on Steiner Street in San Francisco. Oh, wow. You know the Painted Ladies in San Francisco, right? I think it's right across the street from, I forget the name of that park, that famous park in San Francisco. But it's that iconic row of old Victorian style houses that are all a different bright color, all in a row. Those are called the Painted Ladies. So this is nice. Inside of one of those homes. I had no idea.
Oh, cool. It's like getting a secret peek.
Yeah. Usually we're on the other side of those windows looking back. So.
How cool. I'm trying to decide if I like the detail, as much detail in the windows as we have. I kind of wish that the highlights were brought up more, almost to a point of overexposure to really give us a lot of light into the subject, and then the rim light around our subject would pop even more. Mm-hmm. I mean, I love the
Are you saying you want to make it more of a silhouette, so lose detail on this side of the subject?
No, not lose detail on this side of the subject, but just bring up the highlights in the window, bring up the light in the window, right? Like, yeah. And I say that knowing that, Eric may have worked really hard to keep detail in the window, but I don't mind it if it overexposes. I think that it'll have our subject stand out even more. Mm-hmm. Something to play with.
What about the crop? Would you change anything there?
You only say that because you see me cropping it with my hands.
That, and I know you always have a cropping opinion.
Yeah, every image that comes up, I got my hands up, and I'm like, yeah, like that. I'm always doing that.
Yeah, exactly.
So what I'm doing is I'm trying to see if there's a tighter crop to kind of get rid of some of the other elements. So right at just below the back of the couch or whatever is next to him, and maybe including his ear or not including his ear, somewhere in there. So it really focuses in on his face, the glass. Yeah, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
I just feel like that is where I want to keep looking. I think the rest of the image is a little, there's no story there, right? It's not showing me anything else. There's nothing else going on.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, what are these pixels? Are these pixels in service of the idea of the photo, right? The idea of the photo is this gentleman whom obviously, Eric has a friendship with, right? And they're drinking wine together. So the whole story is about, hey, my friend is drinking wine. Someone that didn't read a caption for this shot would have no idea that this is inside of one of the Painted Ladies. So, this is special to Eric and this person. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so in that context, it's about the wine and this guy drinking the wine. So yeah, so everything outside of that mostly is going to be superfluous. Yeah.
Yeah, and I wonder when it comes to the wine, I wonder if in the image that there is enough light coming through the wine itself to give it a little bit of color. It looks like I can kind of see that this is like a dark red. Maybe bring that red out a little bit more, not in an unnatural way, but bringing that backlight up a little bit and bringing out that color in the wine would be nice.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Right.
If it's there. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I see a hint of it there. There's got to be some in there. Cool. All right, Eric. Thank you. And then next is Nora Znotinas. She calls this the stairwell located in the kitchen complex of an abandoned Soviet mining town, Pyramidion, located in Svalbard, Norway. Look at that. I like this one a lot. I like this.
Yeah.
I like the play of the shadow. I mean, it's clearly within the confines of this topic, which is window light. So I like the available light and the play on the elongated shadows coming from this shaft of light. I like the fact that it's divided. We've got the shadow on the left side of the screen and then the play of shadow and light on the right. And then it's all basically these shades of brown, green, bluish hues with this orange bar that hits you over the head at the bottom, right? So it kind of brings it together. I like it.
Yeah, no, I love it. I'm just playing with cropping the left side a little bit. I don't know if that works. It creates a lot of tension if you crop that left side because it brings the edge really close to what do those look like, bells or something. I like it close to the handrail, but I don't like it as close to the bell. So I think Nora, you did a really good job cropping it.
Yeah, it'd be too close if it was cropped too tight.
Yeah, kudos for seeing this and taking the time to compose it and photograph it. We have a lot of wonderful things going on here. We have all these triangles. We have the blue and the orange, a little bit of that green, which is kind of in the blue spectrum, right? So you've got this handrail, which is really kind of the hero of this image. Yeah. And then you got that bell, which if it was just mounted normally, I think it would be a little boring. But the fact that it's hanging by the wire just creates so much interest. Mm-hmm. And I mean, even if you crop the handrail out, which I wouldn't suggest doing, you have an exceptionally strong image. So adding that is really good. I hope you have a series of these. This is really nice.
Yeah, this is cool. In the Soviet Union, no less.
Yeah. Very nice. Cool.
Is that on your travel list, Troy, to go
No.
travel abandoned buildings in old Soviet Union?
No.
No, thank you. All right, that's it. That was last week. All right. Favorite time. Do you have a favorite?
I'm thinking Nora. I'm thinking Nora's. Yeah. All the words I can't pronounce.
Yeah.
The stairway. I can do the stairway.
It's exceptional.
Yeah.
Yeah. What did she say in the yeah. You can't pronounce abandoned. Abandoned. It's easy. Abandoned. Okay. Abandoned Soviet mind.
I know. We're on holiday.
I call this pyramidian. It's pyramidin. Pyramidin.
Yeah.
We'll go with pyramidin.
Try?
Pyramidin. If you don't try, you'll never get it, Troy. Come on.
No, I'm good.
No, it's good. I like it. All right. So what are we doing for the next critique? And congratulations, Nora Znotinas, by the way.
Congratulations, Nora. Yeah, that's wonderful. I think to start off the year, I think we should do open.
Yeah, I think so
too. Like just kind of start it off open and then see how that goes.
Open, free, show us your best work, kick the year off right, please. As I hinted at, I've hinted, you know what the deal is, but I've hinted to the community a couple times that we're going to be making some radical changes. I wrote the post of all these changes, and I've been editing it for the last 2 days. Like, no, I shouldn't say that. Oh, this should be and not or. This should be. So I'm copywriting it because it's a complex transition that we're going to be going through. So I got to make sure we do it right. But it's going to be good.
You're going to record a video, right? You're going to record an intro video anyway.
Yeah, so absolutely. Yep, intro video, the whole 9 yards. So it'll be crystal clear, but you know me, gotta overdo it. Can't do anything halfway. Gotta overdo it. Gotta do it right. Yeah. My mom used to say, if you can't do it right, don't do it at all.
That's right. That's right. Good advice.
Yep. Cool. All right. So 176 will be open, and we will be recording that. It is, as we record this, December 29th, 2021. So this will be on the 12th, I believe. No, I'm sorry. We're going to do it on the 10th, Monday the 10th.
Yep.
Okay. So Jan 10, my first meeting of the new year, 2022.
Only this event. Okay.
So we will record that, and we'll usually, for the folks that are new to these parts, things will be a little bit more will be a lot simpler in a couple of weeks as I kind of change these systems up a little bit. But it's a little complex and convoluted now because you have to go into the group and then you got to post, and then you don't know if you're posting in the right place. And trust me, I know about all this, and I fixed it. I fixed it, and it's going to be amazing in just a few weeks, or less than that. Okay, so what's up for you, man? What are you guys doing on New Year's Eve? You doing anything special? You staying home?
We're probably just gonna stay home, here, chill, play some board games, play some cards, just hang out. Yep, not doing a lot. So
Yeah, well, I told you there's that concert going on. You're not going to the concert?
I might go to the concert in VR. Yeah. You're right. I gotta make a note of that. Yeah.
I think I'm gonna check it out. I'm gonna go for the first year ever. I'm gonna attend a live concert in virtual reality on the on the Meta Quest 2 in VR in their Horizons room or whatever. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. Yeah. I don't know the band.
It's pretty
Do you remember the band? What was the band I said I sent you? Some EDM band. It's EDM. And I know you love EDM, so.
I don't know. Oh, it's called the Chainsmokers.
The Chainsmokers.
Yeah. I've attended some events in VR. It's actually pretty cool. I've seen some comedy, a stand-up comedy. I've seen some music. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, it's fun.
Cool. I need a headset with a nice little miniature air conditioning unit in it, just to maybe some anti-fog. Yeah, exactly. Just no, I love it. Yeah, someone got one for Christmas. I got one for my birthday last month, and someone got one for Christmas. Nicole got one for Christmas, and dude, there's this game. I'm sure the entire world knows about it called Beat Saber. She has been in Beat Saber like a mad woman for the last 3 days, just slicing blocks left and right. It's over. It's over. That's where the world's going, man. Beat Saber.
Yeah.
Beat Saber and virtual EDM concerts. That's where we we are.
Love it.
All right, man. Well, cool. All right. Well, we will leave it right there. Folks, remember, Critique 176 will be open, so submit your best work. We're going to start calling people out on just, stuff that they just dig out of their camera roll or their folder of old tourist shots and throw it in there. We're going to call you out because, just because it's open, that doesn't mean send us pictures of your toe or something. So, see good stuff.
Oh, now you're going to get a toe.
Yeah, I know. Oh yeah. Well, I would take the toe if it was creative and it made sense and it was artistic.
Toe. Yeah,
but it's got to be a good toe. That's going to be on January 10th, 2022. We'll record that and we'll either post it that day or the following day. But within 24 hours of it being recorded, usually gets posted, unless lightning strikes or floods or fires or riots or something like that. This is California, so you never know. You never know. All right, man. We'll leave it right there. Thank you for doing this. On an unscheduled time, we're recording this. We usually record these on Mondays, but it's been crazy this week. So we're getting it done. We are getting it done, plowing through.